Imagine a world without countries, without borders, where the land stretches endlessly in every direction. This was our planet thousands of years ago, a vast expanse of untamed wilderness and open spaces. People lived in small nomadic groups, constantly on the move, following the seasons and the migration patterns of animals to find food and resources. But things were about to change dramatically, setting the stage for a new era in human history. In a region known as the Fertile Crescent, an area that includes parts of modern-day Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan, something extraordinary happened. People discovered the secrets of farming. Farming allowed them to settle in one place, grow crops, and domesticate animals, producing more food than they could consume. This surplus of food led to the establishment of the first permanent villages and, eventually, the rise of the first cities. These early cities were like beacons of light in the vast darkness, centers of human activity and innovation. They became hubs of learning, trade, and cultural exchange where ideas and goods flowed freely. In these bustling centers, people developed writing systems, advanced mathematics, and new forms of governance, laying the foundations for modern civilization. These remarkable advancements would forever alter the trajectory of human history, shaping the world as we know it today. As cities grew, they needed more land and resources. This led to conflict and the rise of powerful empires. One of the earliest was the Akkadian Empire, which ruled over much of Mesopotamia. Other empires followed, each leaving its mark on the world. The Babylonians gave us Hammurabi's Code, one of the first written law codes. The Egyptians built magnificent pyramids and developed complex religious beliefs. These empires expanded and contracted, their borders shifting like sand dunes in the desert. Warfare was common, but so was trade. Ideas and goods flowed along trade routes, connecting distant parts of the world. As empires grew, they inevitably came into contact with one another. The Persian Empire, under rulers like Cyrus the Great, created a vast empire stretching from Egypt to India. Alexander the Great, a Macedonian king, conquered the Persian Empire and spread Greek culture across the Middle East. After Alexander's death, his empire fragmented, but the impact of Greek culture remained. In the West, a new power was rising: Rome. The Roman Republic, and later the Roman Empire, conquered vast territories around the Mediterranean Sea. The Romans were renowned for their military prowess, their legal system, and their engineering achievements. While empires rose and fell, ideas continued to spread. One of the most influential ideas in history emerged in the Roman Empire: Christianity. Christianity began as a small sect within Judaism, but quickly gained followers. It offered a message of hope and salvation, appealing to people from all walks of life. The Roman Empire officially adopted Christianity in the 4th century AD, and it soon spread throughout Europe. In the East, other religions and philosophies flourished. Buddhism, which originated in India, spread throughout Asia. Confucianism and Taoism profoundly impacted Chinese culture and government. The Roman Empire, weakened by internal strife and external pressure, eventually collapsed in the 5th century AD. Europe fragmented into a patchwork of smaller kingdoms and empires. This period, known as the Middle Ages, saw the rise of powerful empires like the Byzantine Empire in the east and the Islamic Caliphate in the south. The Islamic Golden Age brought forth advancements in mathematics, science, and art. In Europe, the Catholic Church became a unifying force, wielding significant political and cultural power. The feudal system emerged, with lords granting land to vassals in exchange for military service. Section 6. The Age of Revolutions. The Renaissance, which began in Italy in the 14th century, marked a renewed interest in classical learning and art. This period of intellectual and artistic flourishing paved the way for the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. European explorers set sail across the globe, discovering new lands and establishing trade routes. The Columbian Exchange, the transfer of plants, animals and diseases between the Old World and the New World, had a profound impact on both hemispheres. The Enlightenment emphasized reason, individualism and human rights. These ideas fueled revolutions in America and France, challenging established monarchies and inspiring new forms of government. Section 7. The World at War. The 19th century witnessed the rise of industrialization and imperialism. This era marked a significant transformation in the way societies functioned, with the advent of new technologies and the establishment of large-scale factories. The Industrial Revolution not only changed the economic landscape, but also had profound social and political implications. European powers, driven by a thirst for resources and markets, colonized vast swathes of Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. The scramble for colonies was intense, leading to the exploitation of indigenous populations and the extraction of valuable resources. This period of aggressive expansionism laid the groundwork for future global conflicts. This competition for colonies and global dominance contributed to the outbreak of World War I, a conflict of unprecedented scale and brutality. The war saw the introduction of new military technologies and tactics, resulting in devastating casualties and widespread destruction. The trenches of World War I became symbols of the grim and grueling nature of modern warfare. The war reshaped the political map of Europe and led to the collapse of empires. The Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended the war, imposed harsh penalties on the defeated nations and redrew national boundaries. This redrawing of the map sowed the seeds of future conflicts and left a legacy of bitterness and resentment. Following a brief period of uneasy peace, World War II erupted in 1939. The interwar years were marked by economic turmoil and the rise of totalitarian regimes, setting the stage for another global conflict. The invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany triggered a chain reaction of alliances and hostilities, plunging the world into war once again. This global conflict, even more devastating than its predecessor, resulted in the deaths of millions and the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The aftermath of World War II saw the beginning of the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry and ideological conflict between the two new superpowers. The world was forever changed by the events of these tumultuous years. Section 8. A World Divided. The aftermath of World War II saw the emergence of a bipolar world order dominated by the United States and the Soviet Union. The world was essentially split into two camps, each led by one of these superpowers. The United States and its allies formed NATO, while the Soviet Union and its satellite states created the Warsaw Pact. This division was not just military, but also ideological, with the West championing capitalism and democracy and the East promoting communism and a centrally planned economy. This period, known as the Cold War, was characterized by ideological conflict, proxy wars, and the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, highlighting the ever-present danger. Proxy wars in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan further exemplified the global struggle for influence between the two superpowers. The Cold War also saw the rise of decolonization movements as former colonies fought for independence. Countries in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East sought to break free from European colonial rule. This wave of decolonization reshaped the global political landscape, leading to the creation of many new nations. Many newly independent nations faced challenges in establishing stable governments and economies. The legacy of colonialism left these countries with borders that often ignored ethnic and cultural divisions, leading to internal conflicts. Additionally, the economic exploitation during colonial times meant that these new nations had to start from a disadvantaged position. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 marked the end of the Cold War and the beginning of a new era. This event symbolized the collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe and the reunification of Germany. It was a moment of triumph for democratic movements and a significant step towards a more unified Europe. The Soviet Union dissolved and the United States emerged as the sole superpower. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of a significant chapter in world history. The United States, now unchallenged, began to exert its influence on a global scale, shaping the new world order in the post-Cold War era. Section 9. Towards an uncertain future. The 21st century has brought new challenges and opportunities. Globalization has interconnected the world like never before, facilitating trade, communication, and cultural exchange. However, it has also exacerbated inequality and contributed to environmental degradation. The rise of new technologies such as artificial intelligence and biotechnology holds immense promise but also raises ethical concerns. Climate change poses a significant threat to the planet, requiring global cooperation to address. The story of world history is far from over. As we move forward, it is essential to learn from the past and work together to create a more just, equitable and sustainable future.